covering all the teams this week. This is the final round. We're covering Clams. They're a top builder team in the second round. We'll see if they get to the top five. John, Aaron, how you doing? Tell us about yourself. Tell us about what you're building.
Hey, Car. Yeah, doing pretty good, man. Yeah, good to be good to be a part of this. It's been a good time so far.
Yeah,
Aaron,
hello,
you
and
want to say hi?
yeah, thanks for having us, Carl. It's been a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, and you guys have been just on a rapid pace of just update after update after update. So, kind of tell us where you all come from and why you started building Clams and the idea behind it.
Yeah, so I guess we started myself and Aaron like we really wanted to build on Bitcoin. Um, we had been kind of dancing around and thinking about various ideas, and we settled uh, on this idea that we needed a better interface for core Lightning. So that's really where Clam started. So the first app that we have made available is called Remote, and it's available as a desktop app and as a progressive web app. So, like the name suggests, it's a remote control for your node. So it's pretty nice app, and we're pretty proud of it. It's been out in the wild. I would say we've been hacking on it a little bit over a year now. Um, and I would say that we kind of had this bigger idea, and I think we're partly inspired by the Bookkeeper plugin that Nifty put together for Core Lightning. We just realized that accountancy as a thing is quite hard with Bitcoin, and there are tools out there that you can use, but we've realized from our own experience that a lot of the time you have to write custom scripts, and you know it's quite time consuming, and it's a lot of the tech that's out there is not really focused on Bitcoin. It's focused on crypto. So it's kind of like, you try to get some accountancy insights, or you try to report, you try to do your taxes, you try to do anything like that. You can very quickly lose a weekend. So we thought maybe it was time that the Bitcoin space had better accountancy tooling, and this led us just to think about this more deeply and talk to various people that we know, and think about the problems that we've faced, and think about how can this be solved with and then this was around the same time car we found out about the top builder, and so it kind of lined up perfectly that we were starting this new app that would live under the Clams brand, and we would try and tackle this problem with a start with an MVP and see where we go. So I would say that you could summarize our vision for this app as it's like a hybrid of, in the fiat sense, people would probably be familiar with Mint and QuickBooks. So Mint in the way that you connect all your fiat stuff, your credit cards, your banks into the one app. We want this tool to do similar, but for Bitcoin. So, for example, you might have your Unchained vault, you might have your Albi extension, you might have your Sparrow cold storage there, and you just want to be able to see this. Your core Lightning node, your LND. You want to see it all in one place, and you want to gain insights from it, and you want to be able to print reports and calculate your cap gains and all these various things that people have become accustomed to, and in particular people who want to run a business. These are the types of things that are very useful, but right now it's very hard to get this type of information. It's particularly when people's sats are spread across multiple wallets. So that is kind of the starting point of where we are, and really we only kicked this thing off right when Top Builder started. So we're a little less than 6 weeks in, but we're making really good progress. And I suppose we figured, because of our experience with Core Lightning, it made sense for the MVP. We would start there and try and solve the problem for a Core Lightning node runner, because we run nodes ourselves, CLN nodes. So we thought this is a good place to start, and then we can branch out from there. So a lot of the work, I would say, has been, for Aaron, has been really about thinking about this accountancy as a thing, like double entry bookkeeping. Like, neither of us are accountants by trade. So, there's a little bit of there's definitely been some deep research for Aaron to like really think about how best to architect this app, so that we can very easily add these connections going forward, that the app will scale. And the other thing, I guess, that we thought about a lot is the I wouldn't call them competitors, but the crypto tooling that's out there. A lot of the stuff that's made available, like, it gets the job done, but you're also doxing yourself to these companies, and we just didn't feel comfortable with that, ourselves. And we assume a lot of Bitcoiners will feel similarly, that you should have this data stored locally. There's no real reason to have it stored on a company server. So that's one of our principles with everything that we're doing. We're not interested in like tracking or Google scripts or any of that crap. And the data itself that you sync to the application from all your various wallets will live on your device. And then it's completely up to you. If you want to share that with your accountant or share that with your investors, you can opt into that. But you could just use the app simply to sync all your data and just gain some insights for yourself, and never share it with anyone, which is also a very useful way to use the app. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. And yeah, maybe Aaron, if you have anything else to add there about your process so far in building it out.
Yeah. So I guess where we came from is sort of building on what you were saying, John, about where we kind of started. We were both running core Lightning nodes because of some of the features that they're sort of prioritizing there, like Bolt 12, and playing around with them. And so we're kind of coming at it from an angle of like, how can we, why aren't we using Bitcoin more on a day-to-day basis? And so like there wasn't any UIs for Bolt 12 at the time. And so we thought, well, let's build a UI for core Lightning nodes. We saw what JB55 was doing with some interesting ways of connecting to core Lightning nodes, like a really sort of simple way of connecting to them using the Commando plugin. So we thought we could build a UI around that kind of idea and build on his ideas. He since went off and is more focused on his Damas app, but he did some really interesting stuff there that we're sort of building on top of. And so that was the first thing, is we wanted a good UI to be able to use like Bolt 12 offers and hopefully push that conversation along a little bit further. And then another one of the barriers to entry, another one of the barriers to spending and receiving Bitcoin sort of regularly is there's a huge amount of friction in terms of like when you get to the tax year. And I think most people just aren't sort of reporting all these transactions, which is fine as well. But if you kind of want to make sure you're all good on that front, there's a lot of work, especially with Lightning and microtransactions. You start talking about thousands of transactions, and that becomes a very hard problem to kind of solve. And yeah, Nifty kind of did a great solution there with the Bookkeeper plugin. You could do like an export to Coinly, and so that was a pretty simple process. You export it to a spreadsheet, and then you upload it to Coinly, and it's kind of done for you. So it kind of took a lot of the friction out of it. But then, yeah, like John said, with Coinly, you're uploading every single transaction to their servers. Who knows what they may or may not be doing with that data. And you're kind of held in this kind of captive system. And then we've also had some feedback from others that, no runners would want sort of profit and loss statements, like the more professional, like LSPs and things like that. They would pay for profit and loss statements and things like that. So that kind of led us down the accounting route. And we soon realized we were going to build the accounting stuff into the original app, but we soon realized if we were going to include all the rest of the functionality, like being able to send and receive and everything like that, the amount of work for supporting all the wallets we'd need to support for accounting would get pretty exponential. So we thought, all right, we'll split it out into a separate app. And the top builder competition seemed like a good time to get started. It kind of was very timely. So it's all about like sort of trying to make the first stage of getting all your Bitcoin data from the various places, into this one place on your device, stays private on your device, and trying to make automatic syncing connections wherever we can for Lightning nodes and things like that. So it's like super easy once we put in some credentials, and then we'll have like sort of customized like CSV imports for stuff like Phoenix or things like that, where you can't actually connect to it and sync it. And yeah, once you have your data all in one spot, then yeah, you can see your cost basis, you can see balance over time. You can start to add sort of metadata and kind of move things around in different accounts. If you're running a business, you can move income into like a sales account or like a specific, even like a sub account underneath that. So you can start to categorize all the transactions, and then you can start to chart all these transactions over time and see sort of various insights, and then generate reports if you want to for tax reports and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much where we're at.
No, this is great. I love the website. John, can you show us a little bit about and for the people that are listening on the pod, probably that this will end up on, it's a logo that has Clams logo and it says accounting and visualize your SATs flow. It's such a very real thing for Bitcoiners and companies in the space to being able to visualize what that looks like on the accounting side as far as Bitcoin and keeping track of it. John, can you kind of show us and explain what you built here as far as just the website before we go into the product?
Sure thing. So yeah, again, very work in progress right now, and yeah, I'm sure the copy will change. I'm constantly iterating. Definitely not my specialty, but yeah, it's been a good challenge as part of this to just try and think about marketing and how to get the message across and say more with less copy. Really is what I've been trying to go for. So this is after you get through this hero section, you have a call to action to join the app, and this is going to be potentially like a little pop-up modal that'll be like a little maybe 2-minute intro video or something like that, I'm thinking. And then we have this how it works component, and the goal for this was really to think about these kind of core functionalities that this app offers to a Bitcoiner, but also think about it from a what problems are we actually solving. So again, like the first one is to sync. So you're connecting all your wallets to this private local hub, and you can see here this little icon. My wife's a designer, so she actually helped me out with some of this stuff. But you can see as an example, you could have your LND, your Core Lightning, perhaps your exchanges, Gemini, Coinbase, everything all pulled into the one local DB, and then you enhance the data. So this is really on our end here. This is about converting all of these kind of varied data structures into a standard that can be converted to double entry accounting, and then we can build upon that and do whatever we want from a visual perspective. And that's the next one, which is visualizations. So various charts and graphs, you can imagine the type of stuff you'd be looking for, but also just data points like your cost basis, like how much have you actually spent on your Bitcoin over the time, and then comparing this across all your holdings, and then comparing it across individual accounts. And then the final aspect would be reporting. And so this, like Aaron had said, it's not just about printing tax reports. It's also about the businesses out there that we've spoken to that really want the ability to print off a profit and loss statement and just hand it to their investors. Like this type of thing is lacking right now for SATS flow. So we're hoping we can solve that problem. And then another little call to action. This learn more, we're thinking probably lead to some documentation or maybe some blog posts. We haven't built a blog yet, but I think it'd be quite useful for this app. A lot of the other accounting apps have that. And then this section is a breakdown of the features. Again, using the same headings from above, but just giving a little more detail. So, full Lightning and Bitcoin support. And the transaction syncing is automated where possible. But as Aaron said, we'll always offer the ability to drop in the CSVs if we don't support your wallets yet. We're starting with Core Lightning, but we want to get as many wallets in there as we can. And then this is just a screenshot of the app so far. And then the pricing, we got a big TBD here on the Pro version. But again, this is where our thinking is. We're just evolving this over time, and we've spoken to people who use services like QuickBooks, and we've reviewed all, what do people try to meet users where they are, like what type of tooling are people using. So we think that, at least for now, we can offer the dashboard, which has your cost basis and your balance tracker and the ability to connect as many wallets as you can. We can definitely have a really nice freemium version that does all that. but we think for the pro version, printing off of reports and a lot of these nice things that we could do from an operational standpoint. As an example, if you think about a tool like QuickBooks, today, businesses will pay for QuickBooks, but then they'll offer secure data sharing to like their accountant or their investors. So the ability to perhaps, zip up some data and send it, or choose whatever you want to, share with whatever third parties, and then multi-user access. Someone like yourself, Car, you might have, a couple of other people at PlebLab that really need access to this thing as well. This will all fit under the pro version. So again, all TBD on pricing and the whole thought process, but for now, this is where we've landed, and we're going to be evolving this. And then this here is where we'll have kind of like you see our, like, on websites, like our partners and who we're working with. We've got Core Lightning to start, but we're hoping this will just be a whole bunch of wallets here very soon. And then we had some fun with this section here. This is really like kind of, a joke about, I talking to people at conferences and meetups, and people really they're either very confused about, accountancy and Bitcoin, or, they're ignoring the problem until they really have to take it on and do something about it. So this is kind of just like a little nod to the Bitcoiners and some of the conversations I've had, and then a little FAQ here at the end. So that's where we are on the marketing site. Yeah, still work in progress, but feeling pretty good about it. Like I say, I want to, get the message across about what this thing does for people, the problems that it solves, but also make it available to people who don't want to pay for it yet. Like they have a really nice freemium model that will add value to their life, and then hopefully, maybe they start a business and they start getting Sats flow rocking, and they're like, okay, I could really do with some of these reports, or I could do with, the ability to share this stuff with my employees or whatever. So that's where we're thinking on it.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I was just at the Commons right now, and I was talking to Parker, and we're kind of comparing notes, as you would say, as far as like what works for, just our own businesses. And one of them is Oshi. Like I use Oshi, for the rewards and stuff. I use Zapbright for a lot of the payments stuff, and then even something like Square, right, for fiat. And then this, I think Clams falls into that suite of products that, as a Bitcoiner running a Bitcoin company, you need. I think me and you were talking about it, like, we have to use Unchained, right? So we use Unchained, but with that,
right,
they don't really do too much on the metric stuff as far as the accounting stuff. So I can just tell you there's a lot of founders out there that could really use this, especially if it's done in a very clean and visualized way. Aaron, is there anything you want to add on this? Well, kind of what John was saying. John, do you want to show the app now?
Sure, I can show the app. And just to your point, Cara, about founders, I'd like to put the word out. If you are a founder of a Bitcoin company and this is something that you think would add value, reach out to us, because we've been trying to gather a list of folks that would be interested in trying out the demo. When it's ready, we'll open it up, and it'd be great to get some insights from Bitcoiners trying to actually live on Bitcoin and run a Bitcoin business. All right, cool. So I can jump over to the app here. Would you like me, Car, just kind of run through our progress on the app, or where would you like to go?
Yeah, just kind of show everybody kind of how to use it. Because
cool.
Go for it.
All right, sweet. Yeah, so to start, so you'll have this is the dashboard, and obviously we have no wallets connected, so you're prompted to add your first connection here. Right now, the only one available is Core Lightning, so we'll go ahead. And to start, what you really need here is you need the address of your node and the IP and the port, and you need a rune. And the rune, for anyone that doesn't know, this is like a little token that provides various permissions for our app. And what our app really needs is the ability to pull like your invoices, pull your on-chain activity. Aaron can speak more to the technology here, but ultimately what we want is read access. We don't care about like spending sats. We only want the ability to pull the income events So I'll go ahead. This little label is just for your personal use. So you could imagine, some power users might have 2 nodes, so they would have their home and business. So we'll go ahead and just label this one home. We'll add the rune. We offer this CLI command here, which you can copy and use in your command line to create the rune, and it's already made up for you. So you just drop this in, and you'll create something that looks like this. So we'll go ahead and kick off a sync. So it's just connected to the node, and now it's pulling in all the transactions and processing them. So it's got all the data that it needed, and then the next step is really this is the accountancy end of things. So maybe Aaron, you can speak to what's happening here.
Yeah. So the first step is just pulling all the raw Bitcoin data from the node, like the forwards, the invoices, the pays, transactions, all that kinds of stuff. And it's kind of just storing that in a reasonably raw form in the DB locally. And then what we need to do is convert them to double entry accounting journal entries. So it has, the double entry accounting is that all the debits and credits must kind of zero out. Like, it's based on the concept that money doesn't really sort of pop out of existence out of nowhere. So it's a matter of like on-chain transactions, it'll have a series of inputs and outputs, and it's basically kind of maps the inputs to debits and the outputs to credits. And it's kind of like, it's basically trying to be pretty smart about how it does that. So it tries to, it looks at it has an overview. The idea is here you have multiple wallets in the future. Obviously, there's just the core Lightning wallet there. But the idea is it's kind of mapping addresses and invoices to each other, so it can kind of see automatically, you transferred from your cold storage to your core Lightning node, and then you transferred back again. And so it's trying to be very smart about seeing what's income, what's expenses, what's just a transfer to another asset, and it's categorizing them into these, like what they call the chart of accounts, which I kind of think of just like buckets. Each sort of credit or debit goes into a bucket, and so yeah, the more data it has, the smarter it can get. And then once we have that, the idea then is you can go ahead and sort of override some of that automatic stuff and say, no, that was a transfer to myself, and I own that address, and that address is associated with this wallet, and then we can kind of create some data structures behind that to represent that. And then you can kind of subcategorize not yet, we don't have that in there, but eventually you'll be able to kind of subcategorize. So it automatically does some sort of like subcategorizing, like we have like expenses, on-chain fees, and so you can kind of then start to chart like how much have I spent on-chain fees in the last month, or how much have I spent on Lightning like routing fees over the last month, or something like that. But yeah, you'll want your own sort of custom categorization. So like income might be categorized as sales, and then you could have a sub sales one for like burgers, whatever you're selling, or whatever. So yeah, idea is that it's quite smart and does a lot of automation, but then the user can kind of customize it further, so that you can really chart whatever you want to chart over time after it's categorized.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll jump over to the dashboard here. So now that we have all the data, you can see that we've calculated a cost basis here. We have the balance in sats, and we have the balance in USD. And as Aaron was talking about all the credit and debits, this balance that you see here, we didn't query the core Lightning node for this balance. This was calculated by running through all the credits and debits over time to reach this balance. And then we ran some tests and verified that this does match the core Lightning node. So this balance, would be reflected in your total holdings, and again, we'll be using the journal system to track debits and credits over time. And then this is a new component that Aaron added this week. So this is effectively your balance over time, with the orange line being your sats.
That's so sick, guys.
Your USD.
That's so good.
So yeah, Aaron, maybe you can speak to this.
How long
chart
did it?
and, like,
how long did it
where
take?
you see it.
Yeah, how long did it take for that, guys, to get it there?
The chart wasn't too hard. It was the data structures was the hardest bit. So once you've got everything to these nice journal entries, we can build like all sorts of things on top of it. So it's a really flexible system. So that was kind of the hard bit. But yeah, the chart's really reasonably simple. And we can build in sort of like a date range filter. So that's just like, it's just set to all time at the moment, but you'll be able to drill in by like a week, by an hour. And then you'll be able to also select those sort of accounts I was talking about. So you could say, show me income, just show me expenses, just show me on-chain fees, show me my routing fees for my node. So you can really like drill in and customize and see what you want to see. But it kind of starts as like a zoomed out view. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's such this. I mean, I know it looks, for people in the audience that are watching this, like, I know it looks simple, because I think that's just the brilliance of what y'all have created. But in reality, like, this is needed. It's just needed. So like, we need this so bad, just in the Bitcoin space. So thank you guys for making this. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, I feel like, a lot of this build so far really has been about laying the foundation for making it much easier to add, not one connection here, but 50 connections. And then you can imagine how much all of the insights that could be garnered once you have all your wallets in the one place. It's going to be an experience that I don't think we've seen in the space. So we're super excited to get there. And now that this foundation's in place, like, yeah, Aaron could speak to it, but it's kind of we're feeling pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, this is great. Because the only app I know right now that does this very not similar, but it's from a rewards perspective, is Oshi, with their dashboards and stuff like that. And you see it, and it just the understanding how that relates to your bottom line and revenue and all that kind of stuff. For me, it's just like, it's just an eye opener as far as like, oh, this is where we should be focused on. We should be paying more attention here. And I think this also does that, right, in a different kind of way. So yeah, I think
that's the thing. It's about, it's not just about getting some insights, but it's like actionable insights. Like, what am I seeing here? Why am I spending so much on-chain fees? Why am I, why are these 15 channels not forwarding payments anymore? Like, you'll be able to just surface loads of stuff like that, and then go and take action, become more profitable, or whatever it is you need to do. So yeah, feeling excited.
Yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer. So yeah, let's jump into the top builder stuff. What have y'all built through the top builder program, and what have y'all learned through it? Any advice to maybe future top builders that want to join too as well?
Yeah, I guess I would say, like, from my perspective, it helped give us some structure. We've been building for over a year on Clams, but it was really, we started this accounting app like right when Top Builder began, and just having the kind of stand-up call every week, and the ability to just, and there was a bit of accountability there, whereby we could, we had to share our updates once a week, and it's good. It kind of gave us some structure, and I think, having the ability to, listen to people who are building Bitcoin businesses and hear from them and learn about the various hurdles they've overcome, or problems they've faced, or advice that they have for us. I think, like, me and Aaron are devs. We're not marketing people. We're not. We've never raised money before. There was been all types of conversations around copywriting, various things that, we don't, in our day jobs, don't think about too often. But it's really cool to be learning about that stuff, and I think it's important that, you kind of have to wear a pile of hats when you're in a startup, because that's just the nature of it. Somebody's gotta do it. So there's only the two of us. So yeah, it's been great. It's been inspiring looking at all the other teams. It's a great bunch of people there, all building very cool stuff, and yeah, everybody's it's this good vibe. It's a bit of a camaraderie there. So yeah, we've thoroughly enjoyed it so far.
That's awesome. Yeah, and for anybody that's watching at home and wants to maybe see Clams in the top 5, come get your tickets. March 14th, 2024. It's going to be at the Bitcoin Commons. I'm sure we'll have tons of people here in March. I think a lot of top builder teams have already said, hey, if we don't make the top 5, we're still going because we want to hang out and meet everybody at Pleb Lab. And
Yeah.
so there'll be a lot of people coming in March, and we'll be building throughout the whole month. And for the teams that are in the top 5, we'll help them get ready, and it'll be a whole Pleb Lab crew will come behind them and try to get them ready for their big pitch day in front of the judges. And we just added our final judge today, which was Matt Odell. So Odell is going to be the final judge. So that's you got Odell, Marty, Kelly from Wolf, Lisa, and then you have I think Muzz. Oh yeah, Muzz. So that's 5
Nice.
judges. So I think they're more than well equipped to find the top builder. So yeah, well, if you're interested, come check it out here in Austin, Texas. Guys, where can they find more out about Clams? Where can they learn more? Get in touch if they want to start testing it. Where can they sign up for the newsletter? Stuff like that.
Sure. So yeah, just check out our website, which is clams.tech. We're on Noster. We're trying to, be as active on Noster as we can. We have a Discord server. So if you want to run Clams remote, the core Lightning interface, and you're having any issues, or you got questions for us, you can reach out there. And the accounting app, we're hoping potentially at the end of this quarter to have something we can have people start playing around with. But yeah, we post our updates on Twitter and Noster, so you can get all the links at clams.tech.